everybody. I wanted to just check in and say thank you all so much for the love and the support you've shown me. I can't begin to describe how grateful I am, because this has been the most humiliating, devastating point of my life, to try to go over and over everything and to see the pictures over and over and just relive the worst moments of my life on repeat. It's just been awful. So having such love and support means a lot to me. And I'm not going to give too many details or names or anything, but one of my ex-Christians, ex-girlfriends, who also had the domestic violence restraining order and everything against him, she contacted me. I won't give names or anything. There's been multiple victims of his that he dated, so I want to keep her anonymity there. But she reached out to me recently, and it was just the most kind and amazing and loving support I've ever gotten. And seeing the messages he had sent her and her family, and seeing how he's always been this horrible person, it just makes it that much, it makes me that much more thankful that I finally got away. And I'm so happy she did, because she is just a really good person. And I'm so thankful to have her in my life now. And I wish I could have spared her the pain that I've went through too, because wow, she didn't deserve it. So I'm just so thankful for the love and support. It baffles me that his family, one of his sisters had commented when I was pregnant with Reagan, my youngest daughter, our daughter. She commented on Christian's profile and said, well, you are such a wicked, evil person and such a bad human being that you have no right, Christian, to bring into this world another life. You know, when it was like, and I'm sorry, Raylan, I don't mean to put this on such a meaningful post it was on my post, but it's true, my brother's awful. Well, then she knew everything that was going on. She knows I'm a very passive person, and just because her brother was mad and told her he didn't want anything to do with her, so he didn't come to a family event, she posted trashing me, saying, oh, well, it must be, and put out my full name, and it must be her doing. She must be forcing him not to come to this event, when I was the only one who would still talk to his mother. I was the only one who would still contact them and send baby pictures once our daughter was born, ultrasound updates. I kept in contact. I kept it going, and he just refused and said that when he's around them, they're toxic, and he just can't keep a healthy life with that. And I believed that, because he was doing horrible things to me. And if he's telling me he's going to be worse if they're around, and he always was worse when they were around, I didn't push him, but I still stayed in contact. So it's just very hurtful to see how they know what he is and what he's like, and call him this evil, horrible person, and then just because they're mad, they don't get their way, and that he didn't, turn around and just come to them during something which I had no idea about what was going on, what was happening. I was completely out of the loop. So they're gonna blame me when there's nothing I could do. He has guns, he has knives, he's put me in the hospital, and I'm still in physical therapy from his injuries. Like, it's just baffling to me how twisted and sick their whole family is, and how manipulative they all are. Just some of the things, talking with multiple of the people that he has dated that have dealt with his family, just to hear that they're all like him is really scary. To hear that they're all manipulative liars, and that even some of them are physically abusive. And the sister who called him wicked and then was mad that he wouldn't go to an event she wanted him to, is he's mad at her for calling him wicked on the ultrasound pictures, which, fair enough. I would be upset too. Not to that degree of anger, but I would be hurt emotionally. Well, she's even doing drugs in front of her kids and has weapons in the house that aren't locked away. And it's baffling to me. Like, how can you support this person who's, beaten up his niece and has multiple domestic violence victims throughout his whole life and who's been wicked and lying, how can you sit there and know what's going on and know that he's obviously in a bad state of mind if he's upset enough to not talk to them, and then just not say anything and not be willing to help and not realize that he's probably really hurting me, and worse yet, the girls. And that just, it baffles me to sit there and be like, oh, well, even though I said these awful things and my adopted brother Christian said, well, I don't want anything to do with you, it must be her not wanting him to do it, which is absurd, because I was the one still talking to them and still sending videos of the baby. And I sent the update when I had Reagan, he didn't even message them. Like, I still tried, and I hope that they can actually see that and see that the only reason that I ever in life didn't message them was because he literally told me not to. So it really upset me to see that they were calling his ex every name in the book, and things that were just, I will not say them out loud to anybody, not even just right now. Like, I would possibly, one day write it down to share what he said to me and to a few other people, but it's sickening the way he and his mother, adopted mother, I should say, and adopted sisters, the way they just dehumanize people because they're family, so it doesn't matter what they do, essentially, is what they were saying. It doesn't matter how evil he is or how evil they are. If they're family, that's that, and they're gonna lie for each other and defend each other. So thankfully, I've got proof and the truth, and this is a pattern for him, sadly. So he's got, unfortunately, a lot of other people with a lot of proof out there. Thankfully, he said a lot of things in writing and verbally, which I have proof of. So, luckily, most anybody can see who he really is, except for the really awful people in his adoptive family. So I hope they really can open their eyes and see that he has sent death threats to his ex's entire family and her. He has thrown his niece through a glass, it was like a glass door, when she was underage. He has beaten me and nearly killed me to the point where I'm afraid to leave the house to go to a doctor's appointment now. And the police are afraid for me to go too, and my lawyer's terrified as long as he's around in this world. So I really hope that they, even though they're not good people, obviously, I hope they wake up and see, obviously, he is a really dangerous person, and at the very least, they just stop harboring him and stop allowing him to really hurt these women and children. So I hope that they open their eyes and realize that no matter who he is to them, he is a wife beater, a child abuser, and a rapist. And that's not okay to harbor, even if he's your adopted son. That's not fair. It's wrong. And there's endless proof that he's done it, and not just to me. I don't care who somebody is. If my daughters one day end up doing something, if one of them rapes somebody, I will turn them over to the police because that's the right thing to do. I don't understand how anybody can cover for anybody for something so heinous, especially attempted murder, death threats, rape, child abuse. Come on, they know what he is. It's just disgusting to me that they are being this way. So I just wanted to vent, but I wanted to really say thank you to the ex of his who talked to me. A few have talked to me and been very kind. They all immediately were there, supportive for me, which says a lot, and I appreciate it. But the one who really talked to me and consoled me, she showed me a lot of really personal stuff from her life and from her past with him that he sent her, and it's directly from him, it's not fake. And it just broke my heart. I was trembling because it scared me so deeply just to read it, because it's everything I've been through. So thank you to her, because it made me feel a lot less alone. Even though I knew there were other people out there, I've seen the proof and the evidence, the court stuff, but this meant the world to me because I feel less alone now. So thank you so much. I won't name your name or at what point you guys were together, but thank you. And thank you all for the love and support. Tomorrow is court. I don't think he has been found yet, so just wish me luck, and hopefully they will let me at least refile the restraining order for a third time, since it's been refiled and then pushed out and then refiled multiple times. But the ADA wanted to build a strong case, and now they have overwhelming evidence. So hopefully they're just going to go forward with the charges right away, so I don't have to go through all of this again and again and again. Thank you guys. I love you so much. Sorry I'm all over the place right now. It's been a really eye-opening few days, and I've been really coming to terms with everything. I had no problem with him since it's been 6 months and more that I was trying to get the safety plan together and find the healthiest way with my counselors and everybody else to get him out without him killing the girls, my grandparents, or myself. So I've been over him for a very, very long time, but I'm not over the trauma he caused and the fear and constantly reliving what's going on and constantly going to physical therapy and doctors and these injuries that are still acting up. It's a constant reminder, and it's really hard. So thank you guys. I love you so much, and I will